Well, welcome back to Life on Tirzepatide. I've been posting a lot recently, and I kind of just wanted to give another update. We're on week 10 or ending week 10, about to start week 11, and there's been a lot of confusion on what I'm doing. The confusion has been more so on my end because let's take a step back. Let's go all the way back to the beginning of the journey. It all started with this vial right here. This vial cost me about 260 bucks. It was a 1 ml vial. I originally got this medication. I saw drastic weight loss. But then I started to examine the vial itself, and the vial wasn't full. And I thought to myself, it's about 1/16 full. Why is it so low? Because they only gave me enough medicine for the month. And so I'll stick to it. I'll do it. I'm paying out of pocket. I'm losing weight. It's a lot of money, but it's curbing my appetite. I'm losing weight. I'm dropping pant sizes. I'll just keep going. Month two came. 2 ml vial. Over $300 I paid for this. Still, 1/16 full. It literally didn't even look like it had enough to give me an entire month's supply. But then I ran out. And so I reached out to my doctor and I asked her, I think I've been shorted on medicine. The vial is not full all the way. Something's happening. And she went ahead and gave me the number to the pharmacy. And I reached out to the pharmacy, and the pharmacy is called Strive Pharmacy. And they found out that my dosage was wrong. When I was supposed to be giving myself 4 units on the injection, I was giving myself 5. So I ran out of dosages very quickly. I lasted about 3 weeks on this second vial. And then I called Strive again, and I tried to get another vial filled. Well, they said the price is going to go up, but your millage is going to stay the same. So the question had me intrigued. The price is going up, but it's the same size vial. There's something wrong there. Big Pharma is trying to make gains on me. So then I began doing some research, and I had some chatter on the side of people telling me what I should do. A lot of friends that are in, the fitness world that understand this medication. And, that chatter was happening, and I'll get to that in a second. But I began on this journey where I started to realize, why am I paying so much money? And am I getting actually Tirzepatide? Because in it says Tirzepatide, glycerin, and B12. So it made me question Big Pharma. How much of this medicine is actually Tirzepatide versus how much of it is glycerin and B12? Am I getting more glycerin and B12 and less Tirzepatide? There was no transparency. I didn't want to be spending almost $400 a month and not have an answer to this. Then a few people a while back said, you should really consider peptides. And peptides have been around. There's a lot of pros and cons of peptides, just like there's pros and cons to what you see on this vial here for this almost $400, with very little formula in it. There's pros and cons to everything. So then a buddy of mine told me about a peptide that said Tirzepatide on it. And what was different about this is it came in powder form. It was traceable. It was validated for, authenticity and for what it was. And, I did some research, and then I started seeing this term pop up. It said for research purposes only. And because Big Pharma doesn't have their hands in it, and because the FDA doesn't approve it, they can't trace if this is real or not. So what the heck? He had a deal going on, buy one, get one free, $100 each vial. And they were 5 ml vials. So I recently put out a post on that, long form video that kind of talks about that. So last Thursday, I injected week's 10's Tirzepatide in my stomach. Appetite suppression was there. Didn't have too many bad side effects that I would usually get with Big Pharma stuff. Big Pharma, lots of constipation, lots of acid reflux, appetite suppression. But with this, just appetite suppression. But the question was it enough appetite suppression? So we're going to go into week 11 here, and I'm going to put in another round. Now, Thursday was when I got this medicine and filled it myself, asked a bunch of people. My neighbor's a retired fireman, and asked a person I got this from, how much of this I should, mix with reconstituted water. And so I got it down to where it should be. Now, Tirzepatide in nature is clear. This Tirzepatide, because it had B12, turned it pink. Appetite suppression? Yes. All the other side effects? Not real. So does it work? I don't know. I'm still researching it. I'm still trying to figure out if this is going to be enough. Because if it's not, I don't mind going back to this and paying more money for it. Sure, it's a crap ton of money. It's ridiculous how much they're trying to get away with by giving such a small quantity. It almost feels like highway robbery at some point. But we're going to stick with this because I'm trying to see if it works. I also am of the notion that you get what you pay for, right? $400 for not a lot of liquid. It's $400 for not a lot of liquid. Maybe it's concentrated. I don't know. There's no transparency behind what the ratios is for these three ingredients that are on this vial here. But then there's this $100 each vial. I have 5 mils instead of 2 mils. Sure, it didn't fill it all the way to the top, but it did fill it up about halfway, way more than what the pharmacy vial was giving me in dose. So I ask you to tread carefully on peptides because I'm experiencing with them. I've done my due diligence and I feel like I have enough research-based evidence to say, I'm going to give this a try, but it's not FDA approved and I'm never going to recommend it to you. It's something that you're going to have to decide if it's something you want to give yourself. So today, not so long ago, did I put the other injection in. We're going to go ahead and just stick to the routine of putting a new injection in every Monday. So again, we start with the alcohol wipe, always wipe the vial down, right? And then we want to find another area. Always try to stay around the belly button, pull the cap off. Now, before I give this injection, I do want to talk about something. Over the last month, I don't know what's happening with my body. I haven't noticed any drastic weight loss. I've been stuck at 250. Some days I'm 251. Some days I'm 254. Today I stepped on the scale and I was 253. I don't know if I've hit a plateau. I don't know what I'm doing differently in my diet, but I've tried to start increasing more on drinking water, trying to stay away from the caffeine as much as possible, sticking to the fiber, trying electrolytes, thinking that this might need to go in my body. Not sponsored, but this is how I relieve my acid reflux. Great product. So I don't really know what's happening. I don't know why I'm stuck at 250 pounds, but I'm stuck. If you got any suggestions, put it in the comments. But we're going to go ahead with giving myself 4 units. Put it in, fill it with air, and then we pull back. It's clear, so I'm not used to it not looking like it's full. Well, that was kind of weird. I'm going to put that back in because I kind of bent the needle. That was weird. What I've noticed with these smaller vials, as I push the air in, it's kind of like retracting itself back in. So I really have to hold the needle. I wonder if I don't, maybe because the vial is so small, maybe I don't need to go, draw back. I can just draw back immediately here. Let's see what happens. Get that air out. Yeah. So I don't need to, it's not going back in. So I'm going to shake it, get those air bubbles out. There's just one little one at the opening, kind of broke it there. And then just typical injection, right? 1, 2, 3. Now, this is a research-based only product. It does say not for humans, just because, again, Big Pharma doesn't have their hands in it. And because the FDA doesn't want to back it because they can't trace it or source it. So am I getting the true Tirzepatide medicine? Time will only tell. What I can tell you is the appetite suppression was still there on my first injection, and this is my second injection of this peptide. So we'll have to wait and see if anything changes. But in the comments, tell me if you have any suggestions as to why I may not be dropping the weight. Again, I don't think it has anything to do with switching because I still wasn't losing weight on this. The pant sizes seem to have gotten a lot smaller, but I've been hovering with both medicines. Big Pharma, peptide, FDA approved, very expensive, backed for sterility, backed that I'm trusting a pharmacy to produce this for me in concentration levels that I hope I'm getting, not backed by really anything, just a company that sells Tirzepatide. You mix it and you go. It's a lot cheaper. This was $99. So big difference. Tell me in the comments what your thoughts are. Again, this page is created and it's all about community, and I really want to draw out engagement. Have you tried peptides? Have you tried Tirzepatide from a pharmacy? What has been your experience? And let me know if I'm doing something wrong or incorrect. Like I said, both of these have still produced suppression, appetite suppression. The question is, which one is working, which one's not? Or Is it just my body's taking time to adjust? And then, of course, any recommendations you might have to get below. I'm still doing the same thing that I was doing when I was losing 25 pounds. I'm working out multiple times a week. I play pickleball, a lot of cardio, not doing so much strength training. I probably should. Need to get one of those kettlebells to do, that squat workout. But let me know what your thoughts are. Trying to break this curse. This is week 4 where I'm stuck at 250 pounds. And I don't know why I can't drop below that. Just tell me your thoughts. Like this video. If you got value, subscribe to our community. And guys, I'll keep you posted on our next upcoming video. See you soon.